didn't blame anybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, this is something that I need to challenge.
You have to want whatever that thing is on the other side of discipline more than the comfort that you're in right now. And that is like, who's your crew? Like, who are the people? Like, here's the question that I posed. Who is invested in the better version of you? Like, who else is invested in seeing that better version of you? You got people that will help you make excuses, and you have people that are willing to see and help you grow. Ultimately get into a place where somebody sees something in you that you can't see for yourself, and they make you, or at least remind you of it on a consistent basis until you believe it for yourself. There's probably been 30 days out of those 2,000 plus days that I was motivated to go work out or stay on track with my nutrition or whatever it might be.
You are now listening to the D. Hankins Show. Life, curveballs, home runs, the D. Hankins Show. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the D. Hankins Show, where we take life, filter it through the 3 buckets to set you up to hit more home runs. Now, this show is all about the 3 bucket philosophy, filtering out life so that it can be infinitely more easier for you. We talk about my choices, others' choices, things that are out of your control, how to filter those things and protect what I call your core 4, which is the most important pillars of your life. That's your spiritual health, your financial health, your physical health, and your mental health. Now, we talk about a lot of things on this show, but none of this can be done without self-discipline. So I brought the man, the myth, the legend, my friend, my brother, my homie, DJ Johnson, who is the epitome of self-discipline. Now, there's some legends out there, man, but you know, they're untouchable in my world. He's obviously he's here, right? So we get to dive in to self-discipline, and you have some amazing stories to tell. DJ Johnson is a husband, a father, entrepreneur, speaker, author, 2 master's degrees.
Oh yeah, if one wasn't enough.
2 of them things. So highly educated, school counselor, award-winning bodybuilder, you know, first time on stage, slayed it.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to talk about that just yet, man. We're going to get into it. DJ Johnson, please introduce yourself to the people.
I mean, yeah, you did it. No, but more than anything, just I've always been a person that's been like just out to be the best version of myself. And what does that look like in all of the buckets, right? Yeah. All the different avenues of my life. Like, how do I push myself to those limits? And so you see that in all of the things that you mentioned that I am. I really try to be the best version of myself in all of those things.
Yeah. So, which is pretty incredible, man, because you do not come from a silver spoon background. So, can you walk us through, you know, like I did a podcast episode with my good friend Keith Hankins, and he was talking about how people see things from the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this that we see now is not how this started at all. So break it down to us, man. Like, how did you grow up?
Yeah, it's rough, you know. Ended up being in foster care, which is our biggest, greatest connection. And from getting into foster care, or at least prior to getting into foster care, was trauma. It was getting beat, getting hit, getting whipped, getting a lot of things, witnessing violence a lot, police getting called, mom, you know, being hurt by my stepdad, like so many things. And how does a person overcome that to become, like you said, the person that you see today? And I think it's people, it's mentors, it's ultimately get into a place where somebody sees something in you that you can't see for yourself, and they make you, or at least remind you of it on a consistent basis until you believe it for yourself. And that was what happened for me. It was my mentor who was just like, hey, I see something in you. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And he was like, hey, I just want to let you know I see something in you. And then I'm like, think about it for a little bit longer. And then I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then he says it a few more times. And then I'm like, actually, he might be on to something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beginning, right? It's got into foster care in the 4th grade. And I remember my grandma, who I lived with initially, she was like, hey, y'all need to go to this center right around the corner from our house. It's the Weiser Park Youth Center is what they called it. And it was just a place that kids went after school to hang out, play games, play sports, do activities and different things. And yeah, we started going. I was hesitant at first because I just wanted to come home and watch Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to chill, long day at school, you know what I mean? And she was like, no, I'll take your butt over there. And so we would go, and I'm glad she told us because, it's where I learned how to play pools. I learned how to play a lot of foosball, like all these different like activities, sports, hanging out with my friends. I noticed that some of my friends with school would go there as well. So I got a chance to hang out with them. But there was something that would happen. My mentor, before he was that, would come in and he would like have a group, and he would be doing things with them or hanging out with them or whatever in terms of like lessons and things like that. And I would be like, no, I want to have fun. Like, I don't want to be reading, because I found out they would like read a lesson per week out of a book called Talks My Father Never Had With Me. And so, like I said, like, he would come in, he's like, hey, why don't you come in? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then one day he brought pizza. And so we're like, oh, yeah, I'm hungry then. I'm about to go in there,
For real.
And that was the beginning of it. And that was the story that I tell everybody about how I became who I am, at least the start of it. Because he was one of the first adults in my life that I was like, oh, no adult saw me or spoke to me in the way that he spoke to me. I was always used to adults saying, go sit down somewhere, go mind your business, kids stay out of adult, wherever. And like, we just didn't, we weren't seen as important. And he was one of the first adults that made me feel important. And so, yeah, that was the beginning. And obviously, a lot of trials and tribulations, but we got here.
That's awesome, man. And so I really want to walk the audience down this path. I'm reading a book, or I was reading a book. It's by Brian Tracy, who is, like his teachings are really instrumental in how I really live my life now. And one of his books is No, the Power of, or the Power of No, making no more excuses, or what is it? Stop making excuses, things like that. In his book, he talks about how he sat down at this random restaurant with this guy who had written, tons of books about, self-discipline and different things that work to change people's lives, different frameworks, different words, different, what to do's. And he goes, out of all of these, it's like 150 of them, he's like, out of all of these, which is the most important? He says, the guy laughs and goes, self-discipline. Yeah. I constantly think about self-discipline. You had asked a question once, like a rhetorical question at one of your engagements that I was at. And you had said, how does someone go from what you went through, foster care, trauma, like he gave y'all the sugar-coated version. But if you want the real version, hire him to speak at your next conference, and shameless plug, right? But you had mentioned, how does somebody get from there to here? And I sat back and go, wow, because we also relate on that foster care tip. We relate on life really throwing curveballs at us time and time and time and time again. And statistically for foster care, not a lot of us end up like you and I. Now there's a ton of us, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted, but the majority fall by the wayside. And when I was sitting there in the crowd, like listening to that question, I really kind of thought about it, was just like, I talk about resilience and things like that, but you really can't be resilient without self-discipline. I tell people like resilience is having systems in place So when life does throw curveballs, you still get hurt, right? You're still going to, feel the pain of it, but you bounce back quicker. But in order to maintain these systems, you need self-discipline. You have to push yourself and make a routine. So quick, like, I just want to let y'all know how like real he is. So I called him today. I'm like, yo, DJ, I need you on the podcast, man. What do you got? What do you got going for today? And do you remember what you said?
I said, I gotta get my workout.
Yeah, he said, not I gotta. He said, I need to work out, right? I need to work out. So, like, talk about that a little bit. This sense of you have something in place. Like your physical pillar, I would say, is probably your strongest. Well, your spiritual pillar is your strongest, and then you got your physical pillar. And then, your financial pillars there, and obviously the mental pillars where the self-discipline is. Talk about that journey and that road. You always been an athlete. We ran track together and things like that. But one day you decided, bro, I'm gonna get it in. Yeah.
So in 2019, like you said, always being an athlete, always feeling like I can get in shape whenever I feel like it. Like that's the cockiness of an athlete, bro. Like we always feel like
it's nothing.
Man, it's nothing. I know I'm a little heavy now, but I can make it happen, right? And I think as you get older, like you still have that cockiness, but your bounce back game is just not as strong.
That mountain is a lot steeper, bro.
And so
that mountain is a lot steeper.
I think in 2019, I just had a moment of like, okay, I'm at a place where I feel like I want to bounce back and I'm just not able to. And so what does that look like now? Like, how am I going to, because I don't like what I'm seeing in the mirror. I used to always say I have a no weight. That my no weight was always like 200 pounds. Because I've always been like from high school to college around 175 to 185, 190 at the most. And anytime I crept up to that 200 mark, I was like, all right, we got to get it together.
Yeah, we got to get serious.
And so I was close to my no weight in 2019. And just for me, every time I got on a moment where I'm like, all right, I need to lose some weight, my thing was, all right, make sure I play some basketball for cardio, maybe go on a run, if I felt like it. And then I'll try to lift. And I didn't always have the best relationship with weight training because with football, track, like we were in the weight room, and it was a chore. It was like, all right, we got to be in here to get strong for, I never saw it as like, oh, I love it, And so I didn't have a great relationship with it. So when I would get in the weight room, it was just like, I'm going to get too big. I'm trying to be a big, bulky dude. And so 2019 was kind of this inroad for me. And the first realization I had was like, I can't do this by myself anymore. Yeah, I like, as an athlete, you always feel like, oh, I got this. I know all the stuff that I used to do as an athlete. I know all the stuff coach used to teach me. And I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm not at that place anymore where I can do this by myself. And so I had a good friend, Amy Davis. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Amy Davis.
So she was training. And I just hit her up like, hey man, like I need some help. Like you wanna help me get back on track? And she's like, yeah. So she schooled me on macros, schooled me on nutrition, schooled me on weight training in a healthy version of it, a healthy way of it. And she started giving me workout plans and doing that. Then this is 2019. So let's, we already know what's about to happen in a few months. This is about August 2019. And so anywho, we started getting into a routine. I started to get into some of the best shape of my life, even as an athlete. Like I was getting into some really good shape, lifting heavy, doing different things that I used to do when I was younger. And she kind of started that for me. And so it was that, like I got into it, got help. And then I just started challenging myself. Like, all right, I'm in good shape. I'm an athlete. Like what can I do with this? And so 2020 hit, I was still kind of in my routine. We used to talk often during that time. And when the gyms closed.
Yeah.
Oh, dog.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
It hurt my heart, man. Because at first when stuff was closing, gyms was opening up. And they closed right away. But there was times where they would open and then, we'd be sneaking in there essentially. And then they would close and you'd be like, oh man, like what am I going to do? And so we would like have home routines and different things. So fast forward, I want to say 2021, maybe even the end of 2020, I found out about the 75 hard. and wanted to try that and wanted to do it. And so, I embarked on that journey, and that must have been the end of 2020. Anywho, one of the years that it was, me and my wife, we were dealing with her grandmother that had a health issue, and ultimately ended up passing. And so we would have to go to Arizona to check in. So if you know anything about 75 Hard, you got to do a 45-minute workout 45-minute workout period, and then a 45-minute workout outside. It has to be non-negotiable. And so Arizona, summertime, 100 plus degrees.
Melting the rubber off your shoes, man.
And you know, Arizona, you like, oh, go in the morning, go at night. Bro, it's 100 degrees all day.
Ain't no escape.
No. And so I had to like make it work, right? And so got through 75. And then, honestly, there were some days, because even 75 Hard, if you don't do one thing on your list of things that you have to do, you have to start all over, right? It's the integrity piece of it. It's the accountability piece of it. And so I remember it would be 11:50 at night, and I haven't done my 10 pages. And I'm like, I fell asleep, and I'm like, oh, I got to get up. Like, I'm waking myself up out of slumber, and I'm trying to read these 10 pages real quick. And so it was moments like that, getting through that 75 Hard, and I was like, okay, that felt good.
Yeah.
What's the next challenge? And then it was the Spartan, and then ultimately bodybuilding. And so, and I always told myself, like, I would never be a bodybuilder, right? But I had a homie who was bodybuilding, and I would just watch him from afar, like, hey, that's kind of dope, right? And one time I saw him, I met with him, we did a workout together, and I saw what shape he was in. And then a couple months later, or however far it was, he was stage ready. And I was like, okay, hold up. I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. Like, it started with me having, in 2019, this moment with myself of like, all right, I can't do this by myself. I've reached my no weight. All right, because I can't do this by myself, who can I run to that's going to be able to help me achieve
I thought
this
you were going to
goal?
do your music Tourette's thing. Man. I was waiting for it, man.
Who can I run to?
I was waiting for it.
It definitely did it in my head, but I just didn't do it. And so that was it, right?
Yeah.
And I know I know we're going to talk about what that looks like and how I was able to accomplish all those different things. But that was the journey, 2019, and then the evolution of the different challenges that I put myself through. And I want to let everybody know out there, like, I did those challenges, but each time those things made me better. I became a better version of myself by challenging myself with these different fitness challenges.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds crazy, but it's a reality.
So what systems did you have to put in place let's start with 75 Hard.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to Amy real quick, because I remember sitting at, what was it, Woodfire in Chino. You're sitting in Woodfire, talk about business, but also talking about getting in shape. And DJ actually put me on to Amy too. During that 2019, 2021, man, even those home workouts, man, sheesh, man. So I don't know if Amy's still training, but if she is, man, y'all got to holler at her. You talked about, not liking what you see.
Yep.
So I'm going to change it.
Yep.
This is what I would put in bucket number one, like my choices, right? You being where you were, not liking what you see, that was on me. Couldn't blame anybody. You didn't blame anybody, right? You weren't like, oh, McDonald's, how could you do this to me? You know what I'm saying? You were like, yo, this is something that I need to challenge. And then you understood, I can't do this by myself. Where do you find the courage to ask for help? That's where most people get stuck. Yeah,
I think if we're going to go into it, it's my first tip that I would give anybody who's trying to be more disciplined in their lives. And I just was telling you, I listened to your podcast with Nurhan. And y'all talked often about the mind and the mindset. And for me, that's the first step. Mindset shift has to happen if you want to be more disciplined. You have to want whatever that thing is on the other side of discipline more than the comfort that you're in right now. Yeah, I'll say that again. You have to want the thing that's on the other side of your discipline more than the comfort that you're in right now. And I think that's what happened for me in 2019. Like, I realized that I was starting to get a little too comfortable with McDonald's, with Chick-fil-A, with Raising Cane's, with In-N-Out, right? And me and my wife, our relationship is built on eating. Going out, exploring food together, like, that's our thing, right? But I also realized like, hey, I want something better for myself. I want to be able, my son at that time was 3, active, rambunctious young guy, which makes sense of how he is now with his athleticism and everything. And so like, I got to be able to keep up with my guy.
Yeah.
And so I got to a point where the disciplined version of me, like what that is going to be in the future, I wanted that more than the comfort that I was currently in. And so once I was able to have that mindset shift, that opened me up for what is going to be new.
Yeah.
Because what you talked about on your episode with Nurhan is about how our body, our mind craves that comfort.
Familiarity.
Craves the familiarity. And the thing that is not familiar, eating chicken and rice at a party where you have all these food and desserts around, all that stuff is unfamiliar. But because I wanted that thing so bad on the other side of discipline, I said, hey, this is just what I got to do to get to where I want to go.
Which brings me to my next big point. You learned the power of no.
Yep.
And that is like your favorite word, dog. So real quick, I had a birthday party. I don't know if I said this in an episode or just like a random Instagram video where I was talking about you. I had a birthday party, invited DJ to a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, man, you gonna get anything to eat? Nah, man. Come on, bro. Small piece of cake. Nah, man. I'm good, bro. But I'm here for you. Show up, whatever. And that was maybe a couple months out of your first competition, which I went to and watched, and first place in every category. So the power of no, talk about that a little bit. Like, talk about the uncomfort.
Yeah.
Actually the uncomfort, the discomfort of saying no to people that you love. And then talk about the comfort of saying no, and then the understanding that comes with it from the people that you know. And then real quick, before you get to that, because you talked about food with you and Britt, which is his wife. So I want to tell y'all something. Your partner is a huge part in making or breaking you, okay? And they are foodies. And I want to share something because it just popped in my head when you said that. So I think after your competition in San Diego, we went out to eat. Yeah. It's the first time you got to like eat something, whatever. And you were excited about the butter cake, right?
Yeah.
But they were out of something. They weren't out of the...
No, it was...
you were looking for...
a chicken dish.
Okay.
Specific one that I've been craving, had IG posts that I saved, and they didn't have it.
Yeah, but they had the butter cake.
Yeah, the butter cake was at a different restaurant.
Oh, was it? Okay, all right. So okay, we went to a different restaurant. You're right.
Yeah.
We had a different restaurant, and he was just craving butter cake. And when you finally got to eat your butter cake, like Brittany is sitting next to you, bro, just cheesing. Like she's enjoying you. Yeah. Enjoy that butter cake because she saw what you had to go through to deserve that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I sit there and go, dang, because you have to think like if y'all were foodies, always going out, yada yada, that came to a raging halt.
Halt. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Screeching halt, yeah. And so that impacted her in a way that impacted, your guys' relationship in a way. Cause just like, discipline comes with, this hard no. So talk about no.
Yeah. I think, it's only right that I mentioned, cause you brought it up. My number 2 thing that helped me in my discipline journey, and I hope it helps you all. And that is like, who's your crew? Like, who are the people? Like, here's the question that I posed. Who is invested in the better version of you? Like, who else is invested in seeing that better version of you?
And who else is excited to see that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got people that will help you make excuses, and you have people that are willing to see and help you grow. And I'm like, who is in your life that wants to help you grow as opposed to help you make excuses? Because you got them homies that will be like, oh man, we got to go to the gym. It's all good. We'll go tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
And then you got homies that are like, hey, I'm going at this time, be there or be square. Right? And so to your point, right, I don't think I can be, I know I won't be able to be on a journey like this, a fit journey like this, if I didn't have the support. If I didn't have Brittany who watched me and was like, hey, put that down, or did you eat too much chicken and you're not supposed to? Are you supposed to be drinking that? Like, she would be on me because she knew how hard I worked and she knew what I wanted on the other side of my discipline. Or the homies.
Which also benefits her.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, for sure.
I remember, I don't get too personal, but I remember like we had met up like, you know, a couple months after your fitness journey. And you like, hey man, like I'm starting to see results. I'm starting to see what I like in the mirror. Yeah. And he looked at me, he was like, and Britt not complaining either, you know? I was like, yeah, you know, because the beneficial, and I don't, you know, a lot of people I think misunderstand the concept of a better version of yourself with people that are locked into you creates better versions of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And including your spouse, your partner, your kids. Yeah. Right. There's a guy on the internet who, you know, he's always been lifting. He had a son. And then when his son was real little, would go into the garage with him, you know, just mess around. His dad would like, you know, pretend or whatever. But now they're like lifting together, like best buds, man. I forget his name. But if you ever come across this video, man, holla at me because I'd love to have you on. But you want the better version of you. Yeah. Because it creates better versions of other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard for you to be on a journey, making yourself better, whether that's more discipline, whatever that looks like. And then not spill over into your circle or other people, right? And I've been blessed enough to be on this journey and inspire people that I don't interact with on a daily basis. Whether it's people that I, you know, speak to, people that just follow me on social media. I might have met once, but they follow me. I can't tell you how often I've seen a message where people are like, oh man, I started my fitness journey, or I'm down 10 pounds, like just working in silence. But they saw something in me, or they saw the devotion or dedication that I had, the discipline that I had, and was like, oh, I'm with that. Like, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to model after that. And so when it comes to like my journey, like it was my wife, it was all of my friends, like who were invested. My boy Esteban, I talk about him often. We kind of started our fitness journey around the same time. Did some of those challenges together. I know he's done 75 hard. We've done Spartan races together. I don't think he's ready to do bodybuilding. I told him eventually.
He's also a product of Amy as well, correct?
Yes. So it's like when I have people who are like just as invested in this journey as I am, I don't want to let them down. Yeah. Right. And so I think about going into my third point of like that routine, consistency, right? So how does a person become more disciplined? Well, you got to establish a routine. Your discipline is built in the routines that you establish, not this motivation that you think you're going to get. I probably have been working out since 2019, or at least been on this journey. I did the math. It's been over 2,000 days. It's probably, and this is probably like on the high end, there's probably been 30 days out of those 2,000 plus days that I was motivated to go work out. Or stay on track with my nutrition or whatever it might be. So, like, think about that.
No, that's
out of 2,000 plus days, the only time I was motivated maybe was 25 to 30 of those days.
Yeah, so that's like what he's saying is I don't want to do this
most times.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to go to the gym today when you mentioned it, like, but I know I got to. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Because I built up a routine enough. A habit, right? Where it now feels weird for me when I don't work out.
Go. Yeah. And that is such a powerful piece. You know you're on to something when you feel off. Yeah. When you don't do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know it has become a part of your life. That's how it becomes a lifestyle, right? Yeah. And that's how I like to talk about it that way. I do believe there's routine. If you do your routine enough, it becomes a lifestyle, right? It's just like when I asked you, what are you doing today? Well, I need to work out. Yeah. Without even thinking. Like that was the first thing that you said, you know what I'm saying? And then it was just like, oh yeah, I got to pick up my son.
I got to do this. I got to do this other stuff.
I got to do this other stuff too. But like it becomes a lifestyle for you now.
But to your point, like we went to Japan recently. When I didn't work out, I had planned, I brought clothes and stuff, but like I didn't work out because of the amount of walking we were doing. By the time we got back to the hotel, I was just too tired. Like I was just beat, right? I didn't work out for so before we came to Japan, I think a week after, it must have been a week and a half, 2 weeks. In that that third week, I got back into my routine like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's been so established now that I could miss a week, I could miss 2 weeks and be like, all right, let's get back on it.
Yeah. But you're not there yet. You're not there yet, okay? You can't miss days.
I started at 2019, right?
You're not there yet. You got to hit 2,000 days first, right? And I relate to the other side of that because, again, we talked about Amy. Amy put me on or whatever, and I learned a lot about myself. When I was running, I do need somebody else. When I was running track, I love track. You know what I'm saying? The worst part for me for track and field was the weight room. Yeah. I hated the weight room, man. I got to go to work.
Athlete.
Yeah, especially
as a football athlete, I understood it.
Yeah.
But as a track athlete, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, for real. So, but it's just like, when you wanted to be stronger, yada, yada, you got to do it. And so, like, lifting on my own was difficult, man. And Amy will tell you, man, she's like, D, bro, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Because I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's like, or whatever. And so, like, I don't know if you can see us here, but we're in two very different shapes, right? Routine, lifestyle, discipline in other areas, right? Not in sense of my physical pillar. Like my physical pillar, I feel like it's not my lowest. Well, it probably is right now. Like it's still up there, you know what I'm saying? But it's not my strongest pillar, and it's because like my attention is elsewhere. However, when I look into the mirror, I go, bro, I'm at a no weight. I hate what I see in the mirror, like absolutely despise it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just my, like what you said, like my want to be on the other side is now starting to become increasingly more important than the comfort that I am now. But I took that, and this is why I established the podcast. This is what you did for physical fitness is what I did for speaking.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And so now, like I'm at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because like same. It's like, I started back in 2009 with this speaking and kind of built this thing and, made $1 million. Like, it's like craziness. And so, but now it's just like, okay, you have to now challenge yourself, right? You didn't just stick with Amy. Actually, as a matter of fact, when you were like, hey, I'm not going to be with Amy anymore. I'm like, what? Why? Like, what she do wrong, know? And you're just like, no, nothing about her. It's just that I'm on another level now. Yeah. It's like, I've graduated, to another level. Well, now I have to challenge myself here. And then I have to challenge myself here. Yeah. And I think about that and I go, dude, yeah, that's where I'm at. I've hit this level in speaking, and now I'm looking at my physical pillar and going like, I can still run with the best of them. I still jump with my athletes and things like that. I still hoop and all that stuff, but I do not like what I see. You know what I'm saying? And so I need to translate that over here. But going back to that point, which is the saying no. Saying no for me as a people pleaser is so difficult, man. How'd you get past that?
Yeah, I definitely am a recovering people pleaser. I mean, it definitely is elements where it still shows up. Yeah. But I just felt like the goal and, like I said, the want and need to be the more disciplined version of me just overrode my feelings. And I was reading something earlier and it said discipline and routines and consistency shows up way before the feelings arrive. And because of that, because of all the things that were established, I feel some type of way about telling people no, but I have to tell them, and we just gonna have to move on. If that impacts my friendship, I think that says more about them than it does me, right? Oh, you mad at me because I want to take care of myself or be better or get ready for this competition that I'm getting ready for? That's something you got to work on.
So with that being said, because I talk to a lot of people, man, and a lot of people it's the spouse. It's the spouse, it's the kids, it's the fatherly duty, the motherly duty. It's this that really stops them, and to look at their let's say mother-in-laws or aunts that are watching their kids and say, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym before I pick them up. That can be difficult for people. So this walk us through, if you don't mind, and if Britt, you don't mind, she's the boss, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if you don't mind, like, walk us through this first month with you, Britt, and Kai, as you're starting this journey. You're like, hey, like, we can't do this anymore. What were get as deep as you want, but like for us out here.
Yeah, I try really, really hard in the beginning, and even now that I'm on the journey, right? Like, I always try to do it during my time. I always wanted to make sure that it wasn't impeding.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you flew by that one. Yeah, you gotta take your time on that one.
So I didn't want to impede on my time with my son. I didn't want to impede on my time with my wife. What does that mean personally for me? In the beginning, and I think, I started my journey when I was working at Fox still. And so I got to be in at Fox at like 6 a.m. But if I live in Whittier, anything about traffic out in LA, I got to leave at 4 o'clock or I'm not going to make it on time to my job. So that meant, okay, I got to go to work. I'm going to get off at a certain time, maybe get home a little later. That meant if I wanted to work out, I'm going to have to get up at 3 o'clock or 2. It was 3. Yeah, it was 3 o'clock in the morning to get my workout in before I have to go to work. Or figure out during my lunch break, do it, because they had a gym at work. But I didn't use that too often, but I knew it was an option, right? But when you establish consistency, routine, discipline, you're always preparing for moments to like get the thing done. You're making it. There's a thing called decision fatigue, right? Like, how do you get to a place where you don't have to make this decision? When you called me earlier and I was like, yo, I need to work out, I put myself in position, whether it was with my meals, because, at the bodybuilding level, there's a thing such as meal timing, right? There's a meal that I have to have a certain amount of time before my workout. There's the meal I have to have after my workout, a certain amount of time after it. And so like I have to, it starts with my first meal. And I'm like, all right, I got to eat my first meal. And before you called, 2 hours later, I was going to eat my pre-workout and work out. Now that you called, I'm all right. The adjustment is I ate my first meal. I got to cook and make sure I have my other meal, which would normally be like meal 4. I got to bring that with me so I can at least eat once we finish this. And then 2 hours later or whatever, I'll go work out either later or whatever. I have to make the adjustment. But it's the routine that I established already that helps me make that adjustment. If somebody's just getting into it or don't have a routine in place, you call me and say, hey, come to the podcast or whatever, and I don't have the routine set up, I'm like, well, I might not get my workout in because this threw a wrench in my plans, right? And so going back to what I said earlier, it was my me time. Like, how can I get my workout in and it's not going to impact anybody else? Now, I know people are like, but I don't have that time. I can't get up that early. Like, that's you. Right?
Well, first, don't say I can't. You can. It's you don't want to.
Exactly.
And that's what I try to tell people. It's like, don't say I can't.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
Get back into bucket number 1, my choice, and say, I don't really want to wake up at 3 o'clock.
And I didn't. But I wanted to get my workout in. And so that overrode my feelings of not wanting to get up so early to work out. And it's so funny because you get up that early, you start being introduced to people who get up that early as well.
Just like you,
And so I now still to this day, from 2019, I go to the gym, I see my homies, my people. I'm like, man, I ain't see you in a minute. How you doing? Oh, you look good, like whatever. But it's just the nature of like, all right, you started doing this, you started establishing a routine, people started recognizing and noticing it. Now they're going to be holding you accountable to it. And so for me, it was like, all right, how do I get it done during my me time? And I did it enough during my me time that when I spilled over into my son time or I spilled over into my wife time, it was forgiving.
It wasn't heavy.
Because I always made it a point, and I feel bad even to this day. My wife would be like, go work out. If it's 6, I can't stand. If anything you should know about me,
bro.
I can't stand the gym at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever.
5, 6, 7, bro. Are the worst times to go, man.
Can't stand
Goodness.
it, oh my gosh. So,
and I don't even. I'm not even on the bodybuilding level, but bro, walking into an LA Fitness, a 24-hour, any gym, at 5, 6, 7, just hurts.
Oh yeah, it's
painstaking. Man, I just be watching people on the bench press just texting. Man, you taking 10-minute breaks during your routine. People who are like that, bro, work out at home.
Yeah.
Craziness, man. Yeah. But there's something real quick in the morning, like there's this, I don't want to say secret society, but they call it the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah.
When you go to the gym, it's like people who are really serious about it. It's quiet.
Yep.
And like when I first started going, on a routine, you get there at 5 a.m. There's like 3 people in there, and then as the more and more you go on, you see it starts to fill up. Like, that's a different mindset crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then the 9 p.m. crew or the 10 p.m. crew or the 11 p.m. crew, then it shifts, right? You got the people who are just like, yo, I got to get this in on my lunch break.
Yeah.
That's a different mindset, you know? And then you got the 5, 6, 7, crew, which I'm just, we being hard on y'all.
Whatever time that y'all
gotta get
doing
in,
that's up to y'all. Right? And there have been times where I've had to go at 5, 6, 7, right? And as a people pleaser in the beginning of the journey, I will sit there if I need a machine, and I'm a little better now, but in the beginning I was a stickler for like sticking to my workout as written.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
same.
Especially the way that I train, we train heavy.
Are you not like that anymore?
I'm more flexible now.
Dude, I'm like, I can't. I just can't. I was like, I do it in order, bro. And I was like, I could have been out of here 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. But that I think I just got to a point where time just became more important for me. And I'll switch it around and I'll make the adjustments, especially if the gym, because I know if I want my workout to go as I want it to go, I'm going to go at the time where I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If I go at a time where I know I can't do that,
that's a great point.
I'm gonna just have to be flexible.
Yeah, that's a great point because you bring up flexibility and making sure that you maximize your workout. So, for instance, I usually go to 2 different gyms depending. Like if I'm in Covina, I'll go to the one out there. If I'm out here, I'll go to the one out here. My gym out here. Next to the studio has the back and the leg machine that I need. The one in Covina does not.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes I notice like on my back days, I'll make the drive out here.
Yeah.
Just to be consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not have to make something up or do an alternative, you know what I'm saying? And then they have like the arm and tricep machine or whatever, something over there that they don't have over here.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I'm switching back and forth or at different gyms. So you do have to be flexible, but you're only being flexible to maximize your routine to get it down 100% and be consistent,
Yeah. To your point, I normally do what I'm going to do today on Monday. But because Monday happened and I just wasn't able to get my workout in and I wasn't going to beat myself up over it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm just going to have to shift my days. And instead of having a break in between, I'm going to just go 4 straight workout days and then be off for the week. Like, but that's when you establish a routine, then you can implement what it looks like to be flexible in that routine. And I know we have focus because something in my head keeps telling me like, people are like, fitness, I don't want to like whatever. I don't want to be on that journey. Like we are talking about it because that's what's relevant to us in the moment. And like as far as what discipline is concerned, but you got to apply this to different parts of your life.
Everything.
Right? Like you brought something up that I thought was so important to mention because I think when you get so hyper disciplined in one area of your life, it's really hard to be disciplined in other areas. Like it does spill over to a certain extent, but it's hard for you to be super hyper disciplined in fitness and try to be hyper disciplined in your spiritual or your finance, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I noticed that about myself because my spiritual discipline has not been as strong as I would like it to be either this year or the last several months. And so that's something I got to work on. That's something I got to address. But for me right now, my fitness journey hasn't been as on point as I would like it to be with traveling and everything. And also with the hopes of getting ready for another competition. I want to get that back on track before I work on these other elements, right? But it's like, you got to know that about yourself of like, all right, I can put all my energy into this, or what does it look like to divvy up your energy on this or that or this? Like, we're talking fitness because that's just the conversation right now. But what does that discipline look like in the area of your life?
In your life as a whole, yeah. And that's the whole point, is to really, I know that the foundation for self-discipline is universal in all categories. So for me, I set every day, it's like and I learned this from Brian Tracy, it's like the major things that you want to accomplish that are going to make you better, bigger, faster, richer, whatever stronger, whatever the case may be, get those things out first. So I set a goal for, across all my 4 pillars, one spiritual goal, whether that's to get into the app, the Bible app, whether that's to, just write down my goals, whether it's to, again, in the spiritual, it's like relationships, call my homies, like whatever. And DJ does a really good job of just randomly calling, man. And I suck at that. You know what I'm saying? So for all of you out there, I'm so sorry. And then I have like a physical goal, go to the gym, like do a walk, do something like that. My financial goal is like, look at the budget, man. Right now it's been terrible, and I was like, that's my strongest pillars, like my financial pillar. But it's been terrible because you kind of let loose on the reins, and you can't do that, right? You have to, and this is why when I talk about the mental pillar being number 4, doesn't mean it's the least important. It's literally the foundation that holds everything up. Because you can step back and go, dude, when I'm mentally stressing, everything starts to fall apart. I don't want to open the Bible. I'm too tired to open the Bible. I'm too tired to read a scripture. Do 30 seconds. And I just don't want to do it. Right? I'd rather get the fast food because I didn't meal prep. I didn't do this and that, which is why exactly what you said, that self-discipline has to occur across all aspects of your life, as a father, as a mother, as a husband, as a this and that. Like, sit down and talk to your friends, talk to your partner, talk to your kids, and say, yo, this is what we're doing. This is like between 3 and whatever o'clock, I'm not going to be here because this is my gym time. And then they start to get used to that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, okay, what did it feel like? And just, be honest. What did it feel like to hop on that stage for the first time in San Diego? Or was this one San Diego or Riverside?
Yeah, San Diego.
San Diego, okay. Hop on that stage in San Diego and hear your name being called out first place to win all those competitions, or to win each category that you, like every category you were in, you won first place. Not only talk about that feeling compared to like that time where you're just like, dude, I got to make something different, right? The transformation. And then also talk about looking into the crowd and seeing the people cheer you on that, that you've had to say no to, that you've had to, like change their life in order for you to be the better version of yourself. Like, what comes with that?
Yeah, no, it was absolutely surreal, very emotional. I think just funny enough, like, so with bodybuilding competitions, they have prelims and they have finals. They pretty much decide who is going to be a winner at prelims. So you go out there, you do your routine. They kind of put you together, line you up. However many is in your class, they line you up. They switch you in positions to say, all right, we think this person is better than this one, whatever. So that happens in prelims. And so this is all new to me. I didn't know what was going on. But I remember getting off the stage and going in the back and just like crying. Because like all the emotion like just hit me of like, man, all the late nights, all the hunger pains, all the like, getting up, taking pictures from my coach, working on my posing, which I've struggled with in the beginning. I remember, getting up, having to do fasted cardio. So that's getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, on an empty stomach and getting on a Stairmaster and knocking out 40, 45 minutes of it or 30 minutes. Like I just remember all of those moments and then it culminating and going on this stage and performing well and doing well. Like it was just an emotional moment, you know, just overwhelming. Like there was a few times during my prep, during cardio, where I broke down crying. Like I got to a point in my prep, like the last month and a half, where every time I did fasted cardio, it was like worship cardio.
Yeah.
I had that worship music on, and it just took me to places like, all right, we're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was surreal. It was like, wow, like you really did this, right? Like going back to the moment where I spoke into my life that I would never do this, and then you did it, and not only did you do it, you killed it.
Yeah.
You know? So it was just like, man, this is surreal. But it was just like, I used to share this when I speak to my students about like, because there was a point in one of my speeches where I talked about this journey. And my point was the things that used to be hard for me are no longer hard, right? It was hard for me to lose my mom or, you know, when she got on drugs and wasn't able to take care of us and went into foster care. It was hard for me to not have my dad in my life. But yet we overcame. Yet I became the person, graduated from high school, college, whatever it is, became a family man myself. And now I've been in my son's life from day one. Like it was hard, but those things are no longer hard for me. And my new version, my new normal of what hard means to me, gosh, I don't even know. Like I don't know what on this earth I can't accomplish because of all the things that I've been able to accomplish. And I think going on that stage, doing something that I once thought was impossible for me and being able to do it, it was just like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, what's going to stop me from things I want to accomplish in my life?
As you know, my passion is to help people build resilience, and it's a journey I've been on my entire life. That's why I created the D. Hankins At Best Student Development Program. I started the program because I once was a student facing major curveballs, and I want to show students that they have a chance at a successful future no matter their background. We empower students with a 6-step framework called Win Your Challenges, and we build a network of support between students and parents and caring adults in their lives. If you're a parent, educator, or administrator and want to learn more about how we build bridges and transform school communities, I invite you to visit my website, dhankins.com. That's DEEHANKINS.com to learn more about how you can bring the At Best program to your school. There's a metaphor, and you could probably attest to this. The first time you started lifting, right? Let's say dumbbell bench press.
Right.
Okay. What was hard for you? 30 pounds, 45 pounds? Like what was hard for you?
Man.
You remember?
Probably 80,
Like
85.
80 pounds. What are you lifting now?
Recently about 130.
Yeah. So 80 pounds to you now is like,
Right.
you know,
It's a warm up with
so like, which is crazy to hear. It's absolutely crazy to hear.
I thought you was gonna gloss over that.
No. But what I want to tell y'all is, like, in every aspect of your life, you have a starting point where you're max.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where your starting point is you have a max, and then your routine and your self-discipline, your max becomes your warm-up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is in all aspects of your life, but you got to be willing to do the work, because going from 80 to 90 pounds still hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Going from 90 to 100 still hurts, 100 to 120, so on and so forth. Yeah. So there's still that pain of that. But now that you're up there and you look at 80s, you're just like,
it's nothing to it.
Yeah, it's nothing, right? It's like, oh, okay, cool. And so that's where self-discipline will get you. But you got to be willing to deal with the blows. You have to be willing to deal with the with your mind trying to take control of your body. Yeah. There's this book that I was reading, that I constantly read, actually, repeatedly, is The 5 a.m. Club. And The 5 a.m. Club, I think it's Robin Sharma or something like that. I don't know. I forget, Robin something. But it's a great book. And it talks about, well, one of the aspects in the book is like waking up at 5 a.m. Dude, the first time you wake up at 5 a.m., you're tired.
It's
the
almost
whole
like
day.
Your body, like you're going against, like it hurts.
Oh, it's pain, bro. It's like you're groggy.
Yeah.
But your mind goes, dude, we're never doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
But a week after, dude, your body craves this 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
get up. And I've been at my very best in everything,
Mm-hmm.
physical, mental, spiritual, financial, when I wake up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something about that golden hour, man. And then challenge yourself to reach your goals. Is there an app that you use for somebody watching this who goes, you know what, dang, I have been struggling with self-discipline. I'm always restarting. I'm always making the same New Year's resolution every single year. I fall off after a couple of days or when something hurts or whatever the case may be. Is there something that you used in the beginning that kept you on track?
Yeah, I think originally when it came to the fitness goal, it was Amy introducing us to the First Form.
Oh yeah, First Form for sure.
So being able to like log my food and see it and track it and add everything up, that was pretty cool to like hold me accountable. I still have an app like that that I use, but because my meals are literally the same every day, with Amy, we could eat what we wanted, but it had to fit in the macros.
Yeah.
With my bodybuilding, it's like, this is your meal, this is the amount, stick to it, right? And so I keep the app just to have it, so like, oh, this is what I gotta eat, this is the amount. But I've been on the same plan for a while now. It'll change in terms of like, okay, you gotta eat this amount of rice versus that amount, or we're gonna switch out this for that. But for the most part, it's chicken, it's rice, it's beef, maybe steak, and it's the same. So for me, I think it helps because some people are like, oh, I can't eat the same thing every day, but like in for the sake of the goal, I'm gonna eat whatever I need to get back on stage. And,
do you know who Breon Ansley is?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an IBF pro, right? A champion actually.
Yeah.
So Breon, good friend of mine, we used to work together, and his slogan is like, earn your pancakes. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the most difficult things for people is like not being able to eat what you want. But again, there's levels to it, right? So what Amy did for us was, hey, yeah, you can eat this, but it just has to fit in your macros.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now that you're on a level and you're actually competing, your coaches is like, nah, this is what's going to get you to this point.
Yeah.
And then after that point, you reward yourself with a meal, or a couple. Like how long did you take off from your first competition?
Probably longer than I should have.
Yeah.
but to your point, like after
you didn't pig out. You just
after a show, you want to get into a reverse. Ideally, within the next day or two, coach, depending on your situation, he might give you a day or two to kind of relax, chill, and then go back into a routine. My first show, it was just because people talked about it, like what it looks like post show and, overeating. And I remember the night of my show, it's so like traumatizing. Dog, I was so full. It felt like I was sick.
Oh man.
Like it was so bad. And even the next day, like I was just still eating so much. Cause what happened, and I learned this, you ate, but you didn't feel full until it was like too late. Like, so I just kept eating like, oh man, whatever. Cause your body was in that deprivation or you were deprived for so long that all of a sudden you're like, ooh, it's food. Like, let's store it up.
Yeah.
Cause we don't know if he's going to starve us again. That's what your body, like how it responds. So that was all like a shock. But ideally you want to get into I just forgot what I said. Recovery. You want to get into a reverse phase to get back to a place where you're healthy, and then you get into a new routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say there's someone starting out and they're listening to this, and again, it doesn't have to be fitness, but
Right.
self-discipline in something. Run those 3 points down for them again. And like, if you were to just go back in time and be able to talk to your 2019-year-old self, or even further, talk to your 4-year-old self, because you're also talking about self-discipline and trauma. Like, you know, you haven't been to prison, you haven't shot or killed anybody, but a lot of people in our situations have. It takes self-discipline to do that too. But let's talk about 19-year-old self. What would you, just starting out, what advice would you give DJ now?
Yeah, I think just a reminder of the pillars that I mentioned earlier. It's the mindset shift. That's the first thing I feel like you have to get on a discipline journey. It's, what does it look like? Like, what you have to want what's on the other side of discipline more than the comfort that you're currently in. Like, that's the statement that you have to express to yourself to start to make that mindset shift.
In any aspect.
In any aspect.
Like,
so
if I'm broke now,
right,
I gotta want to not be broke more than the comfort of being broke, which might mean getting another job, which might mean, you know, getting a certificate or getting certificated,
doing the hard things,
that
you don't want to do. My pastor talks often and says often, starve your now, feed your future. And that's what discipline is all about. And it's the willingness to starve your now to get what you're going to get in the future because you starved yourself in this moment. Metaphorically, right, obviously. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to starve yourself from relationships that don't feed who you're trying to be? What does it look like to starve yourself in situations or time or freedom? What does that look like in order to get what you're going to get for your future? And so it's the mindset shift, the first thing. The second thing is, who is in your circle, right? Who can you account on? Who can hold you accountable? Who is just as invested in this better version of you, like, as you are, right? Who is the people that's like, yo, did you work out today? Who is the people that see you picking up a chip? It could be one chip. And I'm like, is that in your plan? You know, like, who are those people that's holding you accountable? Who can you go work out with? Who like, I'm grateful to be on this bodybuilding journey with other bodybuilders, right? And we make it a point. I'm one of the main people, but they also do it as well. Like, hey man, we get in a group chat like, hey, when we gonna work out together? Because we know how much life we get. Yeah. Because they, more than anybody who is in the fitness journey, understands what it takes to get on that stage.
That birds of a feather. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They felt the joy and the exhilaration.
Pains,
and the hardship, the discipline that it takes to be there, so they know what each person is going through. Yeah. And that they, in order to be there at the gym, they had to push through a bunch of barriers, mindset and all that, to be like, all right, I'm gonna make it happen. So that's awesome.
So that was the second thing, like the circle. Who are the people that's just as invested as you are? And then the third thing is, like, how do you establish the routine and the consistency? Because you don't have discipline without routine, and discipline is you establishing your routine long before the motivation arrives. As I mentioned earlier in this podcast, like, I've been working out on this new journey for about over 2,000 days. And I would tell you 25 to 30 of them, I was motivated to go to the gym. I was motivated to work out. I was motivated to stay on track with my nutrition. As a foodie, as a person who loves to do those things with my wife, we go to parties, hang out. Like, there were times where I go to a restaurant and I'm just ordering a Diet Coke. Excuse me. Or I'm ordering water. Or, you know, like, hey, just bring me some water with lemon, you know, like, or tea that's unsweet. You know what I mean? Like, just so I can, you know, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna be here, but I have a goal. And I have a plan, right? And that's establishing that routine. That's establishing that consistency that allows you to stay on track, because you're not going to be motivated to stay on track with your fitness, with your finances, with whatever it is that you're trying to be more disciplined in. But when you establish the routine, when you have that consistency, that's going to win over your feelings every time.
Every time. One of the frameworks that I use for students that are not performing in schools, DJ and I, we have this program. It's called the At Best Student Development Program. His piece is the parent piece and things like that. He has his framework. But the thing that I teach students on how to, because it's all about discipline, is called Win Your Challenges. And it's a 6-step framework. And the first is, like you said, the mindset shift. It's you versus you. Understanding that when I look into the mirror, I don't like what I see.
Yeah.
And so it's my responsibility to change that, to get into bucket one. Not my wife, not my kids, not, my friends, nothing like that. It's all on me. It's you versus you, right? And you're also going to benefit from looking good, when you're at the beach and you get to take off your shirt and your 6-pack is gleaming. Like, that's going to make you feel good, right? The next step is stop making excuses, right? An excuse at this point in time is anything that stops you from reaching your goal.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, okay, like you said, I called you in a podcast. Hey man, when can you come? Oh man, now I gotta this and that, so on and so forth. But because you're not making excuses, you get to do both. You get to support me on the podcast, tell your story, and you get to go get your workout in. But you had to also bring your food. You gotta, this and that. So there's no excuse for you not to work out or do what you need to do. So no excuses. And you have to reframe it as anything that prevents me from reaching my goal is an excuse. Why? Because it's a goal that you set. Nobody set it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I set this goal, I need to do it, right? The next is, like you said, find your circle. Seek, destroy, give back. Seek means to find what you need. DJ, man, I need your help. I'm going to start my fitness journey. What do I need to do? Destroy simply means to use it up till you can't use it anymore. So let's say I decide I'm going to start a bodybuilding journey, which takes about, a year, 9 months, something like that?
Yeah, it depends.
Depends,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going to use DJ until I no longer need him, until we reach this goal. So, I checked my bucket list off, and I'm like, thank you so much for this and that. Now, the give back piece is huge because just like I have DJ here telling you guys what he did to get to where he's at, it's so important for us to give back. It's so important for us to share how we got what we got, the steps that we took and things like that, because that's how other people grow. The next step is sacrifice, which simply means, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to say no to? Who am I willing to sit down and say, look, man, we can't go to the club no more, bro. Like, I'm sorry, because I have this goal. Now, it's not forever. Like you say, you and your wife still go out to eat. You still enjoy certain foods. You still travel and things like that. It's not forever. It's just during your time or bodybuilding was just like, it's a strict no. Like, I got to sacrifice. There's a lot of things I have to sacrifice to get to this point. And then after that, you can bring some of those things back. The next step is commitment. That's the 5th step. And obviously commitment is just a lifestyle change. Your lifestyle has to change. I use the example of my best friend, Terrence. When we were younger, we lived like 400 steps away from each other, something crazy like that. I used to run down to his house on the weekends. Saturday, you play all day, yada, yada. Sunday, because I was new to that neighborhood, I used to run down on Sundays. Yo, can Terrence come out to play? And I used to catch him all when they were going into their van, headed to church. He's like, nah, man, I can't. I'm going to church. All right, cool. I'll try next Sunday, Next Sunday, run down, whatever. I see him all. It's just like, hey, man, can you play? Nah, I'm going to church. I'm like, all right, man, whatever, cool. Next Sunday, it took like a month, bro, for me to get it. And I'm like, yo, can you play, dog? Like, whatever. Nah, man, I'm going to church. So I'm like, oh, okay. In order for me to play with this dude on Sundays, I'm going to have to go to church with him. So I started going to church with him, but there was a commitment there. This is our lifestyle, bro. On Sundays, you can catch me at church. And he is still like that till this day. Touching 40, bro, we'd be like, hey, man, we're going to go on this weekend trip. Nah, I can't, man. I got a church function. Nah, I can't, bro. I got a church function. He's established this discipline. Well, his dad established it, or his dad and his mom, but it stuck with him way into his adult years. You know what I'm saying? So commitment, your lifestyle has to change. People have to be able to see that you're different. If you say I'm going to the gym every day, or I'm going to work out, or I'm going to get out of debt, yada, yada, but nothing is different in your life, you're not committed. You know what I'm saying? And the last step is a you can state of mind. And just real quick, when we as we come to our close, I want you to kind of talk about that portion of it and how important this is. Like, you know what? Because to go from just working out with Amy to 75 hard, and for those of you guys who don't know, 75 hard is not easy. That's why they don't call it 75 easy. And it's probably why I haven't done it. But it's just one of those things where it's really difficult to go from Amy to 75 hard to Spartan to bodybuilding. You've had to have this you can state of mind. It's like, dude, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that real quick.
Yeah. To your point on the bodybuilding, like, I literally told myself I couldn't. Like, I can't see myself doing it. I can't see myself being that disciplined with food. I can't see myself like having to, take my food everywhere I go. It's so funny saying that now because that's all I do. Bring my food with me, pack it with me. Man, it's crazy.
So real quick on that, because like I don't think they get it. Like I said, me and DJ do this student development program.
Right.
One time we were in Wyoming.
Yes. Right?
This dude brought a backpack full of chicken breasts and rice to Wyoming.
Yes.
So like the discipline is there. Like we're not gassing you up. Like he's really about that life.
Yeah. No, it's but you just get to a point that when you overcome enough things and you meet enough challenges, and you do enough hard stuff where your I can't slowly and sometimes even faster as you progress turn into I can. And that is what happened. Like at one point I didn't think it was possible for me to like weight training, and now I love it. And there was one point where I didn't think I could do 75 hard or Spartan races or whatever it might be, and I've done it. And so like you're right, like we have in our mind, we have so many negative thoughts, right? I think I shared this before. It's like 90% of our thoughts are negative, or 80% of our thoughts are negative. 90% of them are repetitive. And so because of the negative thoughts, we have to do something about that. Like most times our negative thoughts aren't true. Yeah. It's things that it's being said that hasn't happened yet or won't happen. We're projecting. And so if my negative thought is I can't do this, well, I immediately have to replace that negative thought with I can and I will and did. Right?
Yeah, right.
And so that's just what it is. It's that mindset shift. It's saying, all right, this is something I didn't feel like I can do. Well, you know what? I can do it. And if I fail, like to your point earlier, using another metaphor, I mentioned that I trained to failure in my weight bodybuilding journey, meaning I'm lifting 130 pounds. And lately I've been having to do 2 sets of that. So on my second set, I'm lifting until I can no longer lift this weight anymore. And that is a challenging thing. Like, how do I apply that to my life? Well, I'm training to fail.
Yeah.
And so many of us are so afraid to fail, right? That we won't even try because we're afraid of the failure.
Yeah, that's good.
And in my bodybuilding journey, I have to fail in order for me to see the results that I want, for my muscles to do the things that it's going to do to, one, develop, but more importantly, show the developments I need to see on stage. You know, somebody might look at my last bodybuilding picture from my competition from July and be like, whoa, right? But a judge is looking at that and they're like, you can use some more chest. You can use some more.
Because they know.
Right. And it's hard, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, yo, 90% of the people are telling me how dope I look.
Yeah.
And this judge is saying it could be better.
Yeah.
And that could be discouraging. But
that's deep.
I could go to the gym and continue to train to failure, knowing that I'm going to fail, but knowing that that failure is going to lead to a goal where maybe the next time I step on the stage, most likely I'm going to see those improvements that the judge wanted me to show. So if you're out there, I know you're like, bodybuilding, whatever, understand, I just told you I had to train to failure to get the results that I want to see. You got to be willing to fail in the thing that you're trying to accomplish in order to get to where you want to go.
To learn.
Because that failure is going to tell you
criticism.
like, oh, I need to go this route or that route, or I got to do this better. Because if you keep not trying because you're afraid to fail, then you're never going to accomplish the thing that you want to.
Yeah.
So you got to be okay with failing.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yo, DJ, man, thank you so much. Like I said, author, speaker,
Yeah.
Entrepreneur. Right now, you're heavy into the speaking. You're heavy into, you have books. Where can they find your books? Where can they book you, man? You speak to students, you speak to parents. You have Instagram and all that. Where can they find DJ Johnson?
Yeah, I'm djinspires.com. You can also find me at DJ Inspires All on TikTok and Instagram. Hit me up, DM me. I'm not a stranger. I tell my students all the time, like, yo, I'm not a stranger. You can hit me. It's okay. But reach out, man. I'm very passionate about helping students, youth development, and obviously parents. Well, I love being able to help parents, especially if you're a parent of teenagers, helping you on your journey. So yeah, hit me up.
So if you're out there, you're watching this, you are a parent or educator who would love their students to learn about more self-discipline, to learn about how to go from hard life, trauma, foster care, homelessness, suicide, like gang violence, all the above. You definitely have two people, but especially DJ Johnson to reach out to book, to bring to your organization. Again, if you're struggling with parents, DJ Johnson, bring to your organization, bring to your business, bring to your campus and your school. DJ, thank you so much for coming through, man. I really appreciate you. Yeah. If something in this video spoke to you, if you're like, feel like you can run through a wall right now and you're hyped up and you're motivated, please like, comment, and share this video with as many people as possible. It really helps the podcast out. It really helps us get our voice out there. And then knowing that we are inspiring you all, knowing that we're motivating you all to do better in your life is a treat for us. It's part of our purpose. So I appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all next week. Always remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs.
You owe it to yourself to get it together. Can't control other people, you can't control the weather. Live in the mind choice bucket where you have full control. Stay disciplined to reach your goal. Life will throw curveballs, but you're not just stand strong at the plate and hit a home.